Lisa, thank you so much for taking this time to be with me today. I am really looking forward to interviewing you today and getting to know you a little bit better so that our audiences can also get to know you a little bit better. So super excited to be here. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
Thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this. So I am originally from the Bronx. That is always my opening line for absolutely everything. I'm really proud of the fact that I'm from the Bronx.
Yeah.
After studying finance and international business at NYU, I met my ex-husband from Italy, and we moved to the UK. And we eventually had 2 boys, and we divorced. My boys are now grown, and I absolutely love to travel. And during this time, I was always into personal development. And so way before the internet, I know there's a lot of people who don't remember what life was like before the internet, but before the internet, there was Oprah.
Yeah.
There was Oprah and her million guests and her books. So I always bought any books that Oprah recommended. So I have this massive bookshelf of all of these things. But even with that, I always felt like there was something missing. And then the internet came along.
Love it. So, okay, in the age of internet, what kind of personal development work have you done then? I'm more like, I can't wait to hear this.
So I used to chop and change around the internet as we do when we don't have a focus.
Yeah.
When I was at work about 20 something years ago, I took an MBTI test. I didn't even know what MBTI was at the time. I got INFJ, and I only know I got INFJ because I took those results and put them in my drawer and my desk drawer, and didn't do anything about them. Because I was trying to raise 2 boys on my own.
Yeah, that's fair
enough. About 5.5 years ago, a friend put a random test on the internet, and I took that test, and that came out as INFJ. And I went, that sounds really familiar.
Yeah.
And so I went into the drawer, and it was like, oh, okay, there might be something to this. So I decided to then go back in and have a look, and I joined all sorts of Facebook groups and read books and articles. You know, the way INFs do. We jump full into absolutely everything.
Yeah.
And I wanted to know absolutely everything that I could. And I've also been I've been taking a counseling course.
Yep.
This was a few years ago, but what I found out about counseling that wasn't right for me is that it's one specific modality. And so you're not free to jump in and out of tools that may help your client. So that would make me really, really frustrated. And so I dropped that. And so it's been the articles and the books and podcasts. And then lately I've become obsessed with the Enneagram.
Yes.
And I found out that I am an Enneagram 1. And so I am off now on another path.
Yeah. Yeah. And I actually love that, having that flexibility with tools. Enneagram, of course, was my first love. And now I'm also
I know.
fully qualified MBTI profiler and facilitator. So that is just so exciting to be using the tools that actually work, that are appropriate to whatever is in front of you, because that is why we do this work. We're not doing this work to feel important. We're doing this work because we want to genuinely make a difference with people.
Definitely.
So I have to ask about this, because you have really, you've talked about kind of being obsessive about personal development and Oprah, and then the internet and INFJ, and then the Enneagram. And more recently, you've been super obsessed with my work with the 4 People Within.
Yes, I have.
So how did you come about? How did you come across? How did you discover the For People Within work?
So as my binging of everything MBTI, I came across an interview that you had done on Personality Hacker, and my ears pricked up because you weren't talking about, well, you were talking about your story, and when you talked about your journey, I hadn't gone through a lot of the things that you have, but you touched me. Your story touched me deeply, and how you took your pain and you became really creative with it to be able to support others. And so I thought, the first thing I thought is, that's different. And then I started to follow you on Facebook, and I started to go to webinars and anything that that you put out, and devoured any of your content. And I was so taken by your work, because when I had the chance to actually implement it for myself by being a case study client of one of your integration mentor students, I was in a really deep depression at the time.
Yeah, that's right.
And I had been, I had been in bed for 6 months almost.
Right.
And I had 3 months with an integration mentor student.
Yep.
And of course, everything wasn't solved by them, but at the end of the sessions, what I could see that I couldn't see before was there was a light at the end of that tunnel.
Right.
And what that did was it propelled me forward. And I saw what your work did for me. And I thought, if this can do this for me in 3 months, what can it do for other people?
Yeah.
I was so grateful for your work at that time, because I needed it so desperately.
Yeah.
And I didn't think that there would be anything that could pull me out of that depression at that time.
Yeah.
And it really did. So I was sold right then and there for myself. I was like, this is something that I really have to incorporate into me every single day.
Yeah. And that's incredible. And you being, so, because when you're so down, it can feel like there's nothing that can help you. And to hear that something as simple as that could actually help you is just incredible. Something as simple as that's how it feels to me, because it's,
I was going to say,
yeah, go on.
I was just going to say, it wasn't simple. It was absolutely everything I needed at the moment.
Yeah. And it is so humbling to just hear that there was a reason for the pain. So when you go through something and you work through it, you work through your pain, and you're able to really support people, that pain wasn't in vain. I know why,
Yes. Yeah.
So you okay if we change gears a little bit? Did you have more on that, or?
Yep.
I'm good to kind of keep going. So I'm curious about your work background, because you seem to have a lot of kind of different skills that you've brought into doing this work now yourself, because you studied to become a mentor yourself. So you also now are an integration mentor, having been a case study client for a student, and then got taken that role yourself, or taking the role of a student and then becoming a successful mentor. Tell me a little bit about your kind of general work background and what led you into this career that you're now in.
Yes. Yeah. So with with my career, I worked in international advertising, and I led global and local teams.
Yeah.
And the thread that ran through everything I did was the coaching side of the teams. Yeah. I was interested in excellence and in performance, but what I was also interested in was the well-being of all of the teams that I had.
Yeah.
So when I first started in advertising, it was I was managing processes, and then slowly it became apparent through the whole thing that I was really good with people. So I kept having people assigned to me. And then in my last role, I was leading a team of 28 people.
Yeah.
And one of my proudest moments at work is that I created a mentoring program from scratch.
Yeah.
So in our small agency within the larger agency, that then became the standard for the mentoring program. It was just something that I felt like I had to do. And yeah, it's funny how the longer you work, as long as what you're doing is not rigid, your talents start to emerge.
Yes.
And so, so when I was finished with that job, I didn't want to go back into advertising in the traditional way. I knew that the missing piece for me was actually supporting other people.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
To their best selves, because I used to tell the people, on my team that I used to coach that. I used to say, they used to go, oh, but this doesn't have anything to do with work. I said, well, my role, as far as I'm concerned, with the coaching side, is to coach you to be your best self in work and out of work. Yes. I want you to leave here a better equipped person to handle your life than when you came in.
Than just the work or just the job. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Nice.
I was about the holistic person.
Mm-hmm.
And and it seemed to work in the mentoring, because I got mentoring at work, and I thought, well, if I got mentoring and that works, then my whole team would benefit from mentoring as well.
Right.
So when I look at my last job, our attrition rate was 60% when I first joined.
Right.
When I left 4 years later, the retention rate was over 90%.
Wow. That is a very big difference. Anybody in HR listening in, you know what she's talking about.
Yes.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah. So you worked in advertising, and you've also done some volunteer work.
Yes. I volunteered to be a crisis counselor, a volunteer crisis counselor at Shout, which is crisis text line in the UK. Yeah. And then because I was traveling, I because it's online, I was able to do the work in 2 different countries, which was incredibly helpful. Yeah. To be able to utilize that part of me that wants to support other people. And when I was doing this, I didn't have another outlet to be able to do it. So I absolutely, I loved that work, because you never knew what you were going to get. Yeah. So that was fantastic.
And you could make a real difference. I mean, crisis counseling specifically, yes, you don't know what you're getting, but also whatever you're getting, you can really make an impact there.
Yeah. And in a very short space of time.
Yes. Yeah.
And so that was one of my highlights of 2018, 2017, 2018, being able to do that, because I was in the first cohort of people that they trained in the UK. Yeah. So it was exciting, and it was being able to help people in that focused moment of need.
Yes.
Was incredibly rewarding. It taught me so much about people, but also so much about myself.
Yes.
And my capacity to be able to support people.
Yeah. Yeah. And of course, now you are in another supportive role that you can also do from wherever you are, because you're working with me in
Yes,
the
I
Sumiloff
am.
Academy of Human Integration and INFX
I
project.
am.
So
Yes.
yeah, you're our managing partner, and I'm
Yes.
so blessed and grateful.
Thank you. Thank you. That, it's funny, that feels like the natural progression. There used to be an add-on in the States that said, I love the product so much I bought the company.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
This is my equivalent of
Yeah, right.
basically buying into the company.
Yeah.
This is the best role I have ever had. And this is the most fun that I've had as well. And I'm so glad my career came in this way around, because I get to do the really, really rewarding work
Yeah.
in this next phase of my
Yeah.
life, you know, with grown children, and
Yeah.
something that fulfills me every single day.
Yeah.
I could not ask for a better person than you to be in business with. It's such a fantastic experience every single day. So thank you,
Yeah.
thank you, thank you.
Oh, yeah. And like it is with everything that we do, you know, we do personal development, that's our work. We do mentoring. You're still doing mentoring as well
Yes.
alongside of this
Yep.
role, of course. But if you can't show up as the same person in every area of your life, you are disintegrated. So, you know,
Yes.
everything we learn and everything we teach, we bring into the team, and that's just the standard that we expect.
It is, yes.
Yeah.
We expect highly of ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that I love, is that we have incredibly high standards. We're not just out there trying to make a buck. We're trying to have an impact and make a difference in people's lives. You know, your vision of in the next 20 to 50 years to have more compassionate and effective leaders is what drew me in.
Right. Right. Well, what is your personal vision?
My vision is that I really want to make an impact in people's lives, and I want to support people to their best selves. So in a lot of ways, my vision hasn't changed from back when I was working. What I've done is I've refined the environment in which I do it, which means that I can make more of an impact in a much more focused and targeted way.
Yeah.
And that is absolutely everything to me. I've never worked in a place where I have been able to put my vision into practice.
Right.
And where my vision sits so well with the place that I am working, or the people I am working with. So the people being you, with your vision, they enmesh so well together. There's absolutely no conflict there at all.
It is actually quite interesting, and for me, because I've been self-employed for such a long time, or owned companies, or I just call it self-employed because whatever, nobody cares how many companies you own, or if you do, then you know we don't have much in common in terms of values, because humanity is more important than any accolades that you can get in my books. But because I've been so self-directed with my work and my vision for so long, it is strange to me that you would have that one would have a job that wasn't completely in line with your personal vision. So for me, it's strange to have people working who are not invested in the vision because it serves their own vision as well. And when I thought about this the other day, and I thought, you know, because what's normal to me isn't actually normal out there.
Yes.
And you and I, with this partnership, and the rest of the team, of course, we are so aligned, and we are very, I wouldn't say lucky, because we've built it deliberately. Well, I've built it deliberately. I can only speak for myself, so I don't want to speak on behalf of anybody else, but, you know, we are very fortunate and blessed, and we will make the most out of everything that we do, because we are all invested in our own vision as well as a bigger vision that is joined. So yeah.
Agree 150,000%.
That's a serious percentage right there.
It is, yes.
So one of the things that you're going to be doing now going forward is running the 4 people within ebook club, which I'm super excited about.
Yes.
Thank you. Do you want to tell us a little? Do you want to tell us a little bit about that? What it is, and kind of how you came to that? Why do you want to run that book club?
Okay, so the ebook club. When you first wrote the ebook, I was blown away by it, because it looked at cognitive functions in a way that I hadn't looked at them before, as an internal part of me rather than an external part.
Right.
And I was like, okay, cool. So I had to stop and take stock, because when I looked at this, I thought, oh, you know what? I'll be able to do this quite quickly and quite easily. And then I started to read the ebook, and I was like, oh, okay. And my brain had all of these different aha moments, and I was like, okay, right, calm down, Lisa, calm down. Wait for the live session.
Yeah.
And on every live session, when I was a participant, and I was a participant in both groups, because I had to switch between because of a couple of conflicts.
Right.
So I switched between the 2 groups, and every single in every single live session, I left with like this golden orb around me, because I had learned so much, because you brought all of this experience, and each one of us was completely different. Yes. And we all had different insights, but you were able to take those together and weave those into really salient points. And then on top of that, you were able to put your own experience as well. And that was just like, mind blown. So being a participant was one of the best things that I had done earlier this year, in a time during the pandemic, in the time that I really needed something. Yeah. And it wasn't a distraction for me. It didn't take my mind off of anything. It helped me focus more on what I needed to do going forward, and how I was supporting others. Yeah. And it helped me go into different directions as well, because I wasn't able to see people in person. So having a pandemic book club, as it was called then, was perfect for me to learn, and also to be able to put a lot of it in practice, albeit online, but that's just the way things are at the moment.
Yeah, and it's so interesting. It's so interesting to me that, you know, you're already a qualified mentor, you're already working with clients, and now you're taking part in an ebook that is the basic information, but you're participating in the book club, and you're still getting a lot out of it, which is just fantastic to hear. But I think it speaks to the power of the simplicity of the material. Yes. And how simple material can be profound. Not that I want to necessarily blow my own horn around that, but it's great to hear that even for somebody as accomplished as yourself, that you had a lot of takeaways and got so excited about the ebook club that now you want to run it. That's incredible.
I go back to the ebook all the time. I utilize the ebook with my clients. I send them to merjasumiloff.com to pick up the ebook if they don't already have their copy, because it is a free resource and it is well written, and it will be so incredibly useful to you for personal development. It is the best personal development tool that I have had. And if I had it in a paper copy, I mean, I don't print things out, but if I had it in a paper copy, it would be well thumbed through, and I'd have to keep printing, and I'd have to keep printing it out.
Yeah, we should get some laminated versions.
Yes, actually, I think I will do that, because it's nice to have something right here next to you, because technology,
right? All right, well, thank you, Lisa, so much for this. I am super excited to get the new book club going.
Me too,
because we're hopefully beginning to see a little bit of light in different parts of the world right now with the pandemic. I know that things are still quite dire in other areas, and that's just the nature of this disease, and we all must do what we can to try and contribute to the whole world becoming healthier. But I'm super excited to see what you're going to do with this. And again,
me too. I'm nervous, but I am really, really excited. If you told me I'd be doing this when we started this partnership in May, I would have been like, nah. But now I'm like, bring it on.
We should look at this. We should watch this video in a year's time.
Yes. Yep.
And see how things have changed.
So. Exactly. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's a date. It's a date.
Excellent. Well, thanks so much, Lisa. And I'm super excited that you're doing this. I know you're going to do a great job. You add so much value to everybody that you work with. I've seen it firsthand. I've heard it third hand. So I have all the confidence in you doing a great job with this. So thank you so much, and thanks for taking this time.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate you taking this time. Thank you so much.
For sure. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.